Yana put her 1-year-old daughter to bed and lay down next to her husband. Today was a difficult day, and they both decided to go to bed early. Honey, don't you think Chera was acting strange last night? Yana's voice showed a hint of concern. Don't worry, everything's fine with our girl, Cyril replied, comfortably lying on his side and yawning luxuriously. Despite his wife's concerns about the dog's behavior, he was sure that everything was fine. Chera had been with them for almost 7 years, and during that time she had proven to be a loyal friend with excellent intelligence. Yana had been surprised more than once by the dog's clever tricks. Cyril adored the dog, whom he had adopted as a puppy from a shelter. Eastern European Shepherds are among the most intelligent dogs on the planet. Scientists estimate their intelligence to be at the level of a 3-year-old child. Surprisingly, the head of the family, who did not have in-depth knowledge about dogs, considered himself an expert in this matter. With the arrival of Vera, their daughter, into the family, Chera's position in the apartment changed. Now, she spent most of her day not on the mat near the parents' bed but next to the headboard of the baby's crib. Now that Vera was 1 year old, the girl could boast not only of her erupted front teeth, but also of a real friendship with Chera. The child had fallen in love with her guardian and was constantly drawn to the 4-legged nanny. It seemed that this inseparable pair was simply not capable of being apart. Yana, a young mother, was sleeping peacefully one night when she heard a strange growl. She woke up and realized that the sound was coming from her daughter's room. She got out of bed and went to her daughter's room, where she saw a large dog standing in front of her child. The dog was on its hind legs and looked like it was trying to protect the girl. Yana was shocked by what she saw. She couldn't believe that a dog could grow to such a size. She also realized that her daughter was not scared of the dog but seemed comforted by its presence. In the morning, Yana woke up to find that everything was back to normal. The growl was gone, and her daughter seemed fine. However, she was still confused about what had happened. She wondered if she had just had a bad dream or if something supernatural had occurred. The next night, Yana decided to be more cautious. She stayed awake and listened for any strange noises, but nothing happened. She decided to keep an eye out for any other unusual occurrences and continue to be vigilant. Yana took her daughter out of the crib and carried her to her room, but the dog remained in the nursery. This, in the opinion of the owner, was her way of punishing the child for improper behavior. Cyril saw in the morning that Vera was sleeping with her parents. "What happened, dear?" the husband asked his wife. "Can you imagine what Chera did?" The woman's tone made it clear that she was reliving a nightmare. Yana explained in detail what had happened to her husband. Cyril listened attentively and then went to his daughter's room to check both the dog and the environment. Having found nothing suspicious, he concluded that Chera's behavior was not caused by anything in the environment of the children's room. Cyril began to calm down a little. However, for himself, he decided to try and understand what was causing his beloved pet's aggression. However, at night, strange sounds were heard from the baby monitor. The shepherd began to growl threateningly again, and Vera woke up and even started to cry. The worried parents rushed into the nursery and chased the dog away from the child. Cyril looked at his pet in surprise and couldn't understand anything. Moreover, after the parents and child left the nursery for their bedroom, Chera continued to growl occasionally. "You hear? She won't stop," said Yana to her husband. "I don't know what to do." "Of course, Chera is old, but not that old," the husband said, unable to figure out what had made the usually well-behaved shepherd so angry. Amazing man Nikolai Semyonovich Kill looked with interest at the different beetles, spiders, and other unusual insects. "I can't believe all this is right next to us." "Well, not exactly next door," the biologist replied with a smile. "Man tries his best to keep all these species away from him." "Yes. Civilization doesn't tolerate nature," Kill concluded philosophically. In the neighborhood, many people knew Yana and Kill because they walked their dog Carrara. This purebred and intelligent shepherd dog had become the favorite of all residents. Kirill met with a friend and decided to discuss the problem. Misha, tell me, what should a dog lover do for a dog lover? He asked. Has something happened to Chirara? The friend was immediately concerned. It's just that she has been acting aggressively at night for some time now. Now she growls and even barks at Vera when she sleeps. But not so long ago, Chera was very attentive to her. You say that aggression only occurs at night and that it started recently. You should carefully observe the behavior of the dog, maybe even film it, and then analyze everything from the moment such unusual behavior occurs. I am sure that the problem lies not in the dog but in the environment. I agree with you. You've calmed me down. Only Yana doesn't want to hear about Chera guarding Vera at night anymore. She is very afraid. Kil scratched his chin thoughtfully. Sleep with your daughter and the dog yourself. Set up a temporary shelter for yourself. Kil made a decision which made his heart feel better. Surprisingly, at the same time when the husband was talking to a friend, Yana met her former classmate on a similar occasion. Nadia, as an expert on men, can you tell me why my husband is so attached to the dog? This charm is completely insane. He barks at Vera at night. Nadia rolled her eyes in surprise. And what does he say about it? He says, this is my friend and family member. I am not a traitor, and other nonsense. The friend was surprised by Kirill's behavior. She remembered how his dog had saved a child a year or two ago, but now the dog was old and perhaps not as capable as before. However, she knew that it would be difficult to convince Kirill of her point of view. He was stubborn and would not easily change his mind. Despite her stress, Yana continued to search for a solution. She suggested that Kirill let the child sleep with the dog in his room, but he refused. Finally, Nadia suggested that they remove the child from the main bedroom and let him win away from the dog. She believed that the child would eventually ask for forgiveness if they did so. Although this was a possibility, Nadia was afraid that it might not be the best solution. That evening after dinner, Yana and her husband discussed a new plan for their dog's behavior. Dear, Yana said, as you know, I won't let the dog be left alone with my daughter Vera. I also want to tell you that you can sleep alone in the bedroom tonight. My daughter, Chara, and I will sleep in the nursery. She looked directly into his eyes. Are you serious? He asked, sounding concerned. Yana felt helpless. I wanted to deal with this myself, but it seems I don't know how to proceed. Yana had been through a shock due to his lack of interest in the idea of an overnight separation. It was past midnight and Tarara, who was lying quietly on the floor, suddenly opened her eyes. A moment later, she was on all fours near Veronica's crib, growling menacingly. Kirill instantly woke up and turned on the flashlight he had prepared, not wanting to use the overhead lights as they might disturb the baby. To wake the child, it was necessary to shine a beam of light directly at her. This allowed them to accurately identify the sector with potential danger. Suddenly, a young man exclaimed, "Wow," as he noticed a dark spot moving on the wall. He quickly turned on the overhead light and moved the crib out of the way of the threat. His wife Yana ran to the scene when she heard the noise and saw the light. It quickly became apparent that Chera was growling at a large, furry spider near her crib. The spider had blended perfectly with the darkness of the room, making it difficult to see. Only Kill's keen sense of awareness alerted him to the danger. His wife cried out, "Destroy it," holding a slipper in her hand. But Kirill responded by grabbing a face cloth and positioning it close to the spider. The spider, using its long legs, climbed onto the handle of the cloth. Kirill managed to capture the insect and placed it in a jar, quickly covering it with a lid. "They're here. Vera is safe now," the husband said softly. Turning off the light, he left the room. The next day, Kirill paid a visit to Nikolai Semyonovich. "This is Pascha, a black widow spider that escaped from me a few days ago. I thought he was dead," Kirill explained. Nikolai Semyonovich paused for a moment, then, widening his eyes in alarm, whispered, "It's venomous. Deadly." Kirill was irritated. "I'm sorry," the biologist said. Of course, he did not tell his wife all the details. He just mentioned that he had returned the spider to the professor. Kill, what a kind and clever thing to do, the girl said, looking at her husband with love. Shara came up to the couple. Please forgive me, friend, Kill said. Yana's eyes began to well up with tears as she heard a young voice coming from inside the room. Vera also beckoned her friend closer.